So you're gonna be able to enjoy power wherever you go, even if it's camping or tailgating, or of course, as we all deal with natural disasters all over this country, like crazy things are going on. And there's nothing worse than being without power. So having a generator that doesn't require gas or oil or cranks or any of the dangerous aspects that they're super loud and super expensive and big and bulky, this is the way to go. Before we started offering the portable generators that we offer, I did a ton of research, and I literally, I was so impressed because I saw competitor after competitor after competitor, and I was just so thrilled to see that ours is the top of the list. When it comes to consumer like reports and those types of magazines, I was so happy and made my first purchase. This one has been upgraded. So it's the EcoFlow River. It gives you 600 watts of power. But what I'm gonna share with you is that you can power things like not just, you know, your obvious, your fans and your lights and the things that you'll need for, you know, just a quick little moment. You can literally power a refrigerator on this. And I'm gonna show you how it looks. By the way, you can choose black or gray. They're both available. I think gray is more limited. And then you can choose with or without the solar panels. We both, Alice and I both recommend the solar panels because then you'll never have to worry about even recharging this guy, even though it takes an hour to recharge it back up to 80%. So after use after use after use, even if it's just charging your cell phones, your laptops, or your blow dryers, all the things that you need. I'm gonna show you, you've got the regular adapters over there to power up the obvious. You've got the AC or the USB ports here. There's a fast charge port there. There's a USB-C port. There's an on-off right here for even just a powered light. So obviously we all know that we're gonna need light in the case of an emergency. You've got the DC charger there. On the opposite side, you're gonna see that this is your solar car input right there. You can power a solar vehicle. You can also use the overload protection, or there's the extreme charge. That's gonna give you the ability to recharge it so fast. It's relatively lightweight. When you think about, I mean, look at how small. It's like the size of a car battery, but it will power multiple things at the same time. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna turn this on right here, one little touch of a button, and it's gonna turn on my fans, it's gonna turn on my light, and it'll do all of these things simultaneously. It's not like, oh, one little you know, thing at a time. It powers things, multiple things simultaneously. So personally, in the event of an emergency, we all know that this is an important thing. This is imperative to have something in your emergency kit. And then the fun begins when you take it outdoors to maybe a beach or to a picnic or to, if you're a camper like I am, to take it with you camping and charge things like blenders and all the fun ways that you can enjoy your summer months outside of it just being in the case of a terrible emergency. A coffee pot, for goodness sakes. I mean, TVs, coffee makers, and of course drones and frying pans and rice cookers and all the fun things that help us enjoy our life outside of just being at the house. So we're gonna get into the details. By the way, this is our favorite item of the week. Alice and I always agree on what is our #1 pick. We both pick this. Every time we can get it, we pick this and want it to be in the show because it's something everybody should have. Now I wanna share the pricing down there. This is a smart deal. So this is better pricing than any other day. I mean, we've done it as a Today Special, I think once, maybe twice over the years, but this is the second best thing to a Today Special on any given day. So that's a temporary price break on your system, about $150 savings to $200 depending on with or without solar. So that's a significant savings. And then you can do either 5 months of flex pay. Everybody gets free shipping, which is a nice savings because it weighs about 17 pounds. But 5 Flex gets this to you for $90 right now, and you will have it immediately. So when that next emergency or that next natural disaster occurs, it's yours, it's ready to go for you. There's also VIP financing on this product. So if you have an HSN card, you can pay for this over the course of a year. One payment a month of $33.33, that's all it takes. You've got it, you get it right away. We don't wait for you to get that final payment to us before we give you the product. It is a product you're gonna wanna have. You feel good knowing it's there. Mine sits on my shelf in my garage, and I use it for camping, I use it for fun, but boy, oh boy, You know how often we get hit with hurricanes and tornadoes, and there's floods and there's earthquakes and there's wildfires and there's crazy things going on in the world. So I hope you guys can take a good listen to what we're here to share. Justin Hyatt is joining us to go through all of the features. It's a really great system. Nice to have you with us, Justin.
Always great to be here, and I love being able to present it with you, Callie and Alex, because I know both of you love the EcoFlow, and I think it's nice because, you know, we as just consumers, we know we're just like everybody else. We want to have that plan B. We want to have a backup. And when you do your research and when you look around, EcoFlow is one of those top tier brands, not just here at HSN, in the country when it comes to portable power and power stations. And I love that we're having it as a smart deal, because even if you went on hsn.com, you're going to spend $400 on the solar panel alone. So you are saving a lot of money picking up the power station and the solar panel, but you can charge 10 different things at one time with your power station. But it goes beyond that. About 80% of the home appliances that you have in your home right now, 80%. When you lose power, or if you're thinking about that storm, especially when we had Elsa coming, we're thinking, what are we going to do if we lose power? And if you're an apartment or in a condo, you can't have a generator, a gas generator, because of the fumes and the gas and the maintenance. Well, how about being able to power up that full-size refrigerator in just 2 seconds? Now, we're not just going to be able to power up our refrigerator for just an hour, up to 6 hours on a full-size refrigerator from your power station. We didn't pull crank, we didn't have to add gas, and if we run out of power for more than a day, well, now we have that combo with the solar panel, and we have a solar generator where we can continue to power up our power station. Now, one of the things that this is so great at is that the fact that it goes up to 1,200 watts, which means we can do heating elements, we can do high wattage appliances, like for instance, if you want to do a blender. Now, this is a very high wattage appliance. You can run a blender for an hour and a half on your EcoFlow. I wanted to show you that because, of course, you're not using a blender for an hour and a half, but high wattage. And of course, even those heating elements, we can do our heating elements like the stovetop right here. Just turn this on, and now you've got an actual stovetop oven, countertop oven that you can be using. Or, for instance, even, I'm gonna grab this plug in right here and plug in the waffle maker. Now, obviously, we're doing cooking and heating elements. We're keeping our food cool, we're cooking our food. But think about this, maybe you're on a campground, you could be cooking waffles outdoors, or if you're in a cold climate, think about space heaters. We could be cooking that, coffee makers. I want to come over here to the emergency section because in a winter storm, we think about staying warm. You can have a space heater plugged into your EcoFlow. This is where it takes a whole nother level. When you're looking at competitors, EcoFlow takes it to a whole nother level than anybody else. Your fans, in just a few seconds, I'm going to kick all of this on. We got a fan, we got a light. I'm going to show you one thing that's really, really cool. For any of you who are just we just want something, we need extra power, look at this display. It's going to actually tell you exactly to the hour, to the minute of everything that we got plugged in, how much time we've got. 9 hours with our fan, our light, and then I'm going to kick the blender on because I want to show you some of the fun stuff. Maybe you're outside, maybe you're camping. You run it at full size, our Burrito blender as well. And one of the things that I love, Callie, is we could spend upwards of $700 on a CPAP machine. $700 a CPAP machine. You invest in that because you need it as a medical device. If you lose power in the middle of the night, what are you going to do? This is going to be able to power up your CPAP machine from 10 to 20 hours. That's nearly 3 full nights. And as a UPS device, it's an uninterrupted power source. You can have your CPAP machine plugged into your EcoFlow and your EcoFlow plugged into the wall. So that way, if you lose power in the middle of the night, you're not going to wake up because you can't breathe. This is going to continue to power up your CPAP machine. So even if you just got your EcoFlow for your CPAP machine, it's going to be worth everything.
I couldn't agree more.
And I love the fact, Callie, I think just medical devices alone, if you're looking for a way to keep it powered up, EcoFlow is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, I'm glad you went to the CPAP machine because that is something that is, it's life and death for a lot of people, and a lot of people use them. You need power at all times, and so I know a friend of mine actually keeps his CPAP machine plugged into this bedside just in the event of power outages going off over the night. It happens all the time. It doesn't matter where we live these days. There's no place that is just free of natural disasters. Crazy things happen all the time. I mean, gosh, the heat right now out in the West, if your AC goes out, and you know, you need fans, you need motion, you need to circulate that air to keep yourself comfortable. It's not even just that, it's very dangerous to get overheated. So it's about the cold in the winter, it's about the hot in the summer, it's about having a light source, it's about having a cooking source, it's about the conveniences, of course, of having, you know, your coffee maker and your blenders for your backyard barbecues, maybe a little bit of a, you know, margarita day. But that's the beauty of this, is that you will use it. This is how the first time I used it was on a camping trip with a bunch of friends. There's probably 12 of us, maybe even 15. And everybody was so excited because they all charged their phones on my system. And it takes 3 phones at a time. They were all like, really, can we please? I should have charged rent, because it's such a powerful system. But phones, that's nothing. That doesn't even phase this thing. Where I want to go is that refrigerator story. Because a lot of us, I mean, gosh, we spend a lot of money on our food and we put it in a fridge. If you're out without power for a half of a day or a day, you've got to throw all that stuff away. That's, holy smokes, you can pay for this the first time you save all that fridge, you know, refrigerator food. Not to mention medications that have to be frozen. All the meat and things that you put in your freezer to keep frozen. That starts spoiling. Gosh, that adds up quickly. So there's that piece. I'm gonna share with you this. Because when I bought mine, I bought the original EcoFlow that we offer. This one is way more powerful. I'm a little jealous, but it's okay, because I know we need power. This is your choice. By the way, gray is super limited. It is between the two. Gray is gonna go soon. I do love the gray. It's got that soft teal handle. But the solar panels. You can see it's a little more for the solar panels, but when I bought my EcoFlow, this is years ago, I bought my solar panels separately. We're giving you the option, and you're getting a better value today on with solar panels than we've ever done before. I think they're if not $500, they might even be $600 just for the solar panel. And these are phenomenal, because obviously you just set this out. I've got smaller, mine is smaller than these. You set this out to just take, you know, the rays of the sun all day, you are automatically always gonna have a power source to recharge your EcoFlow when it runs, you know, clear. But it takes forever to use up all the power that this is gonna offer. And again, I know there's options. You go into any of your home stores and they're gonna be, generators are right in front, and they're huge and they're expensive, and they all require oil or gas. They all are super noisy, and I feel like they're a little dangerous. I don't know, that's just my perception. I just love having this in my garage. It's the size of a car battery, but it does all the things I needed to do and way more. I haven't even put it to the test yet, but we're gonna share with you, either option is here, black or gray, and then with or without the solar panels, saving you $200 today during this smart deal. The item for you is 75277, but let's get back to all the things that this can power up for us, Justin. I think a lot of us look at it and go, well, it's kind of small. It can't be very powerful. Quite the opposite.
Well, you know, exactly. You know, that's actually one of the greatest benefits to the River Max, is that it is still only 17 pounds. It is the size of a car battery, but it's not a lead acid battery. It's not going to weigh 30, 40 pounds like a car battery. But because of the size and the power, it's the marriage of both worlds. It's perfect because it's still portable, but it's still accessible power where you can take with you and be able to power up all of our big stuff. We showed you the refrigerator, up to 6 hours on a refrigerator. We have a full-size television, up to 8 hours on a full-size TV. Now, that might just be entertainment. That might be for the need of being able to watch television to see where the storm is going. Of course, even our phones. You can charge your phone 42 times. 42 times with your EcoFlow. Your laptop's 10 full charges. Now, just giving you an idea of the different things that you can do. And, of course, even your DC adapter. So for any of you who are going camping, who need to be able to inflate any of those air mattresses, you have the ability to do that. I want to show you what's right next to me right now that I have actually plugged in to my EcoFlow. Of course, we were going to be outside. We got a rainstorm. We got to move inside. That's just Murphy's Law. We never know when a rainstorm's going to come. We never know when we're going to lose power. But with our solar panel, now you have sustainable power where you can use your solar panel, and with the connection to your EcoFlow, you've got a solar generator. You have power for days, not just hours. And what I love about this is that while I'm charging my EcoFlow, I can be charging all my other devices simultaneously. So I can be charging my EcoFlow with the sun and also charging all of my other devices. And Callie, you mentioned it, a fan alone. If you are stuck here, I know even Florida, I know a lot of places are even hot, all the way up even in Boston not that long ago, it's extremely hot. If you lose power all of a sudden inside of your home, it can be 90 plus degrees. It can be dangerous. You want to be able to power a fan, you want to be able to power a light, you can do that for hours and hours and hours, but I love the fact with the addition of the solar panel, you can do it for days on end as well. I love being able to have the entertainment. You want to be able to have fun with this, you can, but you also have this as that backup, and I think that's what's so great about the EcoFlow Delta is it gives you the combination. So you have all of those different things, and then I love the display, and you do have all of those USB ports right here on the front, even that USB-C, and don't forget you still have those three-prong AC outlets. Now these are 600 watt outlets, but this is a 1200 watt EcoFlow power station. So if whatever you're plugging it in goes up to 1200 watts, this is going to be able to power it. Those drills, like for instance, even if you're off site, somebody works off site,
there you go.
Serious drill you can be using. Maybe even if there's a down limb, if you need to plug in, you have an electric chainsaw, you can plug it right here into EcoFlow. So all the different things, you can still use this with your EcoFlow Delta. So much variety. There's a reason why this is the go-to brand here at HSN for backup batteries.
Absolutely. It is a good way to look at it as a backup battery, but it is a powerhouse. And to do 10 different appliances simultaneously, I mean, granted, most of us have something to back up our battery on our phones, but this will do that and so many other things, like, the convenience things, but, the things that require power. I mean, what do you do if you are without power and you need to know what's happening with the weather? You need to know what, the evacuation route might be, or what, what's happening and who's leaving where. And honestly, this is like very important to have something like this. You don't have to buy this one. You can go to your local, wherever you like to shop for your home products, but you're not gonna find something that is so efficient. It's so compact. It's so portable. I mean, look, I can lift this from back here. It's heavy, but it's 17 pounds, but those other ones are so, you have to, clear out half part of your garage to store them. And what do you do when you only use it maybe a couple of times a year? I mean, maybe you won't need it for an emergency. More than likely you will. But this is something, I have it up on a little shelf in my garage, and I have my solar panels too. I know I sleep better knowing that I've got it just in case. Elsa just came through and it hit the whole eastern part of the country, causing so much damage. That's one of the many types of storms that we deal with every single season. Heat can cause things to, power to go out just like a cold does in the winter. And then just, it's almost like the option of going off grid. That's kind of my goal in life, is to be ready to be off grid in the event of something catastrophic happening. And the only thing I haven't come up with yet for my house is how to get a water supply. That's my next little project is working on that, because I like knowing that I'm self-sufficient. I like knowing that I'm independent of needing the resources that, we come to rely on every single day. Not burning candles and having all of, this is something that does what we need it to do, and that's give us power. Whether it's, look, I just turned it on, so it'll do a fan, it'll do a light simultaneously, but it's got so many other outlets. I know, Justin, you showed us from your vantage point. I'm gonna get a close-up here, because I think it's really important to see that this is an awesome choice right here, just to turn on that light, to alert somebody to where you might be, to give you the ability to fast charge. The USB-C, there's 2 more USBs. This is your fast charge here. You've got that power outlet here for your DC. If you want to charge this in the car, you can do that too, to recharge when you need it. I love that it has this light. It's just kind of a nice comforting reminder. And then you mentioned the 2 3-prong outlets. No, it's not just 2 little 2-prong. It's the Big Mac Daddy 3-prong outlets that you need, because that's what you're gonna, that will pull more power to the source. And then on the opposite side, would you do me a favor, Justin, and remind me what each of these ports do for us?
So that yellow port that you're going to see is where you actually plug in your solar panel. So that's where you're going to be plugging your solar panel, and also the DC for the car adapter. And then over here is going to be a button where if you need to hit the reset, for instance, maybe it just plugged in too many things and you need to just hit that reset, you hit the reset button and it'll reset the whole entire system. And then on the left side is going to be where you plug it into the wall. And speaking of that, this is one of the greatest parts about EcoFlow, is that in an hour, you can recharge your EcoFlow Max, your Ver Max, to 80%. In an hour and a half, up to 100%. Your other competitors, 8.5 hours to do something comparable. This is only an hour and a half from 0 to 100%. If you need something in a pinch, you see a storm coming, only an hour and a half. That's a shower, that's getting dressed, that's getting ready. That's all it takes. And I think I love that because even when you have your solar panel plugged into your EcoFlow, it'll take 3 hours. If you have 2 solar panels, an hour and a half to be able to recharge from 0 to 100. Kelly, I just recently did it. I plugged in the solar panel into the River Max, and it was one of just those moments where you're like, that is really cool. That makes me feel confident. That makes me feel like I do have true sustainable power, and you do want to go out off the grid. You do want to feel like, I feel like this is something I definitely want to take with me. You were talking about generators. Your generator, you're probably not going to wheel that out of the garage and take this with you on a trip everywhere you go. You're probably not going to wheel out your generator to the back patio just because you want to sit outside, watch TV, have a fan, even a Dynatrap, maybe a blender like we were showing you, and enjoy the great outdoors, even just in your yard. But you can do that with your EcoFlow Delta. And 80% of your home appliances, I want to show you one more time, your full-size refrigerator, not for an hour, not for 2 hours, up to 6 hours on your River Max in just 2 seconds. How much food, how much money do you have in your refrigerator right now? What happens if you do lose power and you live in that apartment, you live in that condo? What is your option? And Kelly, I know so many people, you know, when their parents get a little older, they're worried just losing power, just sitting in a dark home, sitting in a hot home, no lights, no TV. Maybe it is those medical devices. I love being able to know that I can also plug in all of these. This, by the way, is the waffle that I just cooked, okay? So just to prove to you that it will cook your waffles. It will do all that by staying warm. This is something I think that obviously I cooked it a little too long. We're gonna leave that in there. It's a little crispy. I hope you like your waffles crispy. But also your high wattage appliances like your blender. This is just an example of being able to hit that 1200 watt. And then I want to go over here, those heating elements like that space heater, the fans, the Wi-Fi, being able to make sure that we can plug a router in and stay connected with our internet. And then our CPAP machine, your CPAP up to 20 hours. If you were just getting your EcoFlow River Max just for your CPAP machine, it would be worth every single penny. And then in just 2 seconds, being able to know that I don't have to light a candle. I don't have to worry about going over to somebody else's house. I have the fan, I have my light, and I didn't have to pull crank. I didn't have oil, I didn't have gas. I didn't have to go to my garage, even if I don't have a garage. This is my confidence right here in just 17 pounds with the River Max.
You know what, I'm gonna go back to what you said about that router, because without internet, you know what, how lost are we? If you lose power, you lose connection to the world. So having this as a backup, just to make sure you've got that, I mean, maybe just always keep it plugged in down there, because you'll always have it at full charge until you use it to use during a case of an emergency, or better yet, for some fun in the backyard or maybe at the park, and bring in the blenders and doing a tailgating party. I mean, life is now starting to get back to normal. So I'm thinking more on the positive side here than I am on the tragic side, but it's gonna be there for both. It honestly is one of my favorite purchases that I've made at HSN. I love that I have it. I used it several times. I haven't used it every month, thank goodness, but when I use it in multitudes. I mean, meaning I use it for phone charging and my laptop, and I keep all of the things, you know, handy. I love being able to cook outdoors and not having to worry about power or propane tanks and those sort of things. You can customize and use this in ways that you never thought before, from, you know, your fry pans and your coffee makers and your hair dryers. How about the Switch, the fun little video games that our kids love, because they need to be entertained when there's something going on, whether it's being outdoors or whether it's dealing with an emergency too. I do want to update you though. I know we talk fast here. I apologize, because when we have favorite products, it's pretty apparent. I mean, I've owned mine. I wish I had this one. I've got the original version, which isn't as powerful as what you're getting today. I'm glad for you guys though. And especially a smart deal on this. It's $150 off this portable generator. It's $200 off if you're getting it with the solar panel, which most of you are doing. In fact, the gray with the solar panel is outselling both other options. I just really hope you'll get it. Do a flex to get it delivered. I think it's $74. Oh, it's $90 to get this delivered, and that's without the solar panels. It is $140 with. If you want to do financing with our HSN card, do it. It's $33, it's $1 a day. You will own this starting now. You will get delivery of it, no charge for shipping. That's a nice savings too, considering it's almost 20 pounds more than that with the panels. But $33 a day is a wonderful way to know you've got it. You know you want it. Everybody walks into one of those home stores, you see them right there in the center on every end cap. 'tis the season for needing a generator. This is the best alternative you're gonna find with power that you wouldn't expect out of something that's compact, relatively lightweight, but it does not require a gas, an oil, and it doesn't smell, and it doesn't, you know, you hear stories of those other ones blowing up, and I just don't like that as an alternative. I like this. And I'm so glad you guys recognize the value of owning it. I mean, it's worth every dime. When you use it one time, you're gonna go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we have it. Because it's not just like one source to be able to power a light or a fan. It can do 10 things simultaneously, including the refrigerator. So think about how much money you've probably got invested in food right now, in medications in your fridge. If it just saves that fridge full of food from going rotten, you've paid for it. And then every use you have from now on and forevermore is gonna be for free. This is just a sampling of all the things that you're gonna be able to power up, and those are some hefty duty electronics. So enjoy it, and if you wanna take a closer look on hsn.com, feel free to read reviews. Feel free to do some research as well. I did a couple years ago when we launched EcoFlow here at HSN. I researched like there's no tomorrow, and this was the one that came up at the top of the list. And that was from another expert who did all the other comparisons. So I hope you can take a serious look at this. And in our final few moments, I'd love to send it back to Justin just to kind of go through all the bells and the whistles that are really at the top of your list.
Well, I think just at the top of my list is I love the fact that it is a perfect combination of power and size. If you're thinking about something that you know that you're going to feel confident to use outside of something with gas and oil, you live in an apartment or condo and you need an option, I think this is a perfect option for you. Grab the solar panel if you can, because now you've got sustainable power, not for hours, but for days. I think the fact that it's a smart deal, take advantage of it. I think you're really going to love the fact that you're going to have that option with the River Max. Wonderful. Really great job. It's so nice to have you, Justin. Stay safe, be well. I see it sounds like it's raining out there today. Only here in South Florida. We know the one cloud above us.
I'm sure it will move over Tampa later.
I'm sure it will. It's crazy that they